Hey you guys, and welcome back to another edition of Unpopular Opinion with me, Krystal Ketchum. Today I am going to be talking about Lifetime's biopic of Salt-N-Pepa. Now before I get into my review, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button below so you are notified every time I drop a video. Now initially when the Salt-N-Pepa biopic was announced, like the rest of the world, I was a little on edge. Because I'm going to be so real with y'all, who can forever forget what they did with the Leo biopic? That movie was straight. I don't have to say, because if you watched it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So when I heard that they were doing a Salt-N-Pepa biopic, I was really on edge. But surprisingly, if I had to rate the movie from 1 to 10, it's a 6. If I'm sitting down on the couch on a Saturday night and it happens to come back on, I will actually sit down and watch it again. And let me tell you why. Let me start with the casting of the movie, right? Layla Odom, who plays Pepper in the movie, did an amazing job. That girl, to me, never broke character throughout that whole movie. From the accent and her mannerisms, she nailed Pepper. So did the young lady that plays Salt. I forgot her name, but she also did a great job. The casting was on point. And I even like the guy who played Herbie B. He was pretty good, but the only thing I was confused about is, like, why y'all have him playing Herbie B and Herbie B's brother? I was just wondering, like, y'all couldn't find another actor to do that? But anyways, that's another story. The only casting I had a real problem with was the casting of Martin Lawrence. You can't tell me you could not find nobody else in this world that looked similar to Martin Lawrence. He looked nothing like Martin Lawrence to me. Nothing about his mannerism, nothing about that man screamed Martin Lawrence to me. That was really disappointing to see that. But I will say throughout the movie, I did like how they portrayed the come up of Martin, Salt-N-Pepa, and Kid and Play. Because if you didn't know, Kid and Play, Martin, and Salt-N-Pepa, they all used to work at Sears. And just see them all come up together and be successful, I think that was really beautiful. Another thing I enjoyed about this movie was seeing Herbie B's role in making Salt-N-Pepa. If you watch the movie, you realize how much of a role that man played in making Salt-N-Pepa. I'm not saying without him, Salt-N-Pepa wouldn't be Salt-N-Pepa, but anybody who watched that movie, you have to give that man credit for what he did. Believe it or not, he wrote some of their biggest hits. He was responsible for getting their tour manager, for getting their promotion. He was really on it when it came to making them some stars, and I feel like they gave him, his respect throughout that movie. Speaking of respect, we got to get into what everybody's talking about when it comes to this movie, and that was the minimization of Spinderella. I just felt like she was a mannequin throughout the whole movie. Like, there was really nothing much to her character. After watching the movie, I went back and just did some research to see Salt-N-Pepa's videos and their album covers, and I realized, wow, Spinderella is mostly on all of this. So when it comes to the movie, if you look back at their history and then you watch the movie, you're like, okay, something doesn't add up. From the movie, you can tell it was deliberate how they left that woman out. You could tell they were sitting at that table and was like, well, don't say that. She doesn't need to be there, or don't include her in there. And seeing that made me think, well, would Tina Turner's story be that great or accurate if she left Ike out? Or would the New Edition story be that impactful if they deliberately left Bobby Brown out? And the answer would be no, because even though these people had issues with their partner or bandmate, they still included those people in their movie. And I think that's where Salt-N-Pepa messed up. Yes, you had your issues with Spinderella. Yes, she sued you for unpaid royalties, but she's still a big part of Salt-N-Pepa. Like, she was your DJ. She was in your videos. She accepted those. She actually is on some of your tracks. And she accepted those awards just like you guys. And just to leave her out like that, it wasn't right. But to play devil's advocate, when you have a falling out with a person and this person, you feel like this person is doing you so wrong, this person is suing you for royalties you don't think they deserve, I could understand why you would want nothing to do with them. So in their defense, I think they were just trying to protect themselves and their money by leaving her out, but it wasn't right, because just like, you guys worked your asses off to be where you were, she did the same thing, and I think she deserves just a tad bit more respect. Another thing I want to touch on is the relationship that was portrayed between Salt and Tretch. Now, I can see I give it another week before a church come out and either debunk what happened in that movie or explain what happened in that movie. I don't know. You know, he's married now. He just seems like he turned his life around. You know, Pepper did tell her account of the story, but I can see him coming out now and saying whether it was true or not. So I'm giving it another week before he comes out and says anything. And I want to wrap this video up about just talking about the storyline of the whole story. You know, altogether this movie was, I believe, 3 hours, and I just like the New Edition story, I think they needed maybe another hour. The storyline seemed so jumpy, like it just jumped, and it kind of left you confused. So after Salt-N-Pepa took Herbie B to court for unpaid royalties or something like that, it jumped straight to the demise of the group, and it was hard to follow. It was like, okay, well, you know, they finally taking ownership of their careers and getting what they deserve. Then it's like, well, now Pepper and Salt are going through something and they're just not seeing eye to eye. I just thought that was really confusing, and I don't really think the movie really broke down what happened between Salt-N-Pepa. There was a scene where, you know, Salt calls Peppa and he's like, you know what, this has been my life since I was 19. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to be a part of the group. They did, that part made sense, but I'm talking about before that. It just seemed like the demise of Salt-N-Pepa wasn't really explained. But overall, in my opinion, the movie is a 6. I would recommend you guys to watch it because you will learn some things about the ladies that's not often told in the media. And it is a really beautiful story of 2 women who worked really hard to make it where they are in hip hop. So again, I would urge you guys to watch it. But let me just tell you now, there are gonna be some things that confuse you. 1, I don't know why they chose that man to be Martin. 2, the storyline does jump a lot. And then 3, Spinderella her part was really minimized throughout this whole movie. And with that being said, you do question the validity of the movie. Well, you'll start to think, well, that's Salt-N-Pepa's account of what happened with Spinderella's. I wish they came together like New Edition did when it came to making their movie with BET. I saw in a video where all the members of New Edition sat down in a room for hours to get an account of what really happened. And according to some of the writers and directors, they were in that room for 6 hours plus, just arguing it out and just really getting it out there. And I really feel like the ladies should have did that so we can have a really accurate account of what it took for them to be who they are today. Again, overall, the movie was good, but I just wish they included Spinderella some more too, because she deserves her crown. She deserves her flowers as well. So that is the end of my review. Thank you guys so much for watching. And please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button below. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.